All right, for the rundown drill, there's a million things we could talk about rundowns, do's, don'ts. Let's get to that in a second. First, let's talk about how I want to set the drill up. Have a group of kids, 5 kids, working between first and second. That's their rundown lane. Have another group of 5 kids working between home and third. That's their rundown lane. They're just going to work back and forth, running the base runner who's not there, running them down, tossing the ball. Next kid tosses the ball. Next kid tosses the ball. And all they're doing is running, tossing, following their throw, and we just keep going to get them in the habit and having an understanding of rundowns. Once we go through the sequence for 2 or 3 or 6 or 7 minutes and it seems like they're kind of getting it, let's break it down and go just between first and second, and then let's turn it into a bit of a challenge where a kid gets to run. It can be 2 teams, it can be however we do it. We only got 15 minutes, so maybe it's not a lot of time. But here's some of the main things that I want them to understand about doing a rundown and how to do this challenge. The kid with the ball starts on the base. The player who's running starts 1/3 along the base path. Not in the middle, not close to the other base. If the baseball is there, the runner is 1/3 of the base distance away from that kid. The second that kid leaves the base, running towards the base runner, the play has begun. Couple do's, couple don'ts. The player with the ball runs with the baseball in their hand, holding it up in the air. And running, they run, no walking, no tippy-toeing, running. Dart throw, don't wind up and throw, don't set your feet, just throwing on the run, and it's just a dart throw. The player who's receiving the baseball should never be at the base. They should be 5 or 6 feet in front of the base. We're always trying to run the player back to the base where they came from. We're never faking a throw, because you're only going to fake your teammates out. When you go to make a tag, put the baseball in your glove. If the receiving player recognizes that that player, base runner, is getting too close to them, they got to actively put their hands up so that they can receive the baseball. Encourage the kids not to throw over a runner. Pick a lane, inside or outside, so you're throwing to the side of the base runner. Otherwise, eventually, inevitably, you're going to hit them in the head. There's a million different things that we can talk about in terms of how rundowns ought to work, but those are some of the most kind of standard bits of it. So we'll start with just getting them primed, learning the process of how the rundown has to work, getting them to follow their throw, never retreating, and then once we got a good feel for it, let's turn it into a bit of a challenge.